This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. So this evening, you guys, since we're continuing with Spooky Month, you've got Dr. Eggman joining you tonight, and we've got Bandit and my buddy and comic and movie review fellow all the way around, just great guy, Mr. Dave Gregory. Man, we've had him on the show before, and he's down here local to me, and he's always doing movie reviews. And I was like, hey man, you wanted to talk about horror movies on the show for Spooky Month? And he was like, absolutely. So that's why we figured we'd run with it tonight, man. You guys, I don't know how people feel about the horror genre and stuff. It's a genre of filmmaking that invokes very strong emotion from the audience, usually fear, of course, but it's a separate category of people just all the way around that love watching scary movies. And such films have a huge fan base the world over, and they're also fairly good business at the box office. So everybody loves to watch a horror movie, whether it's super scary, thriller, or even comedy horror. That's a place in my heart that I love because I love to laugh. So I figured we'd just dive into a little bit of all of it. We've been talking about some good ones before the recording even started. So, but first and foremost, you guys make sure that you'll for our guest tonight, Mr. Dave Gregory, we're going to have all of his links shared over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com. You guys know where to find that at. That's a fun place to find everything for the show and everything about our guests and everywhere where to find us and check out the show and listen and watch us, man. We've got all good things, all the links to get back to everything. And even back to our sponsors and stuff, man. You guys give everybody some love and give everybody a check out over there if you can. And let's hop around the table, man. Dave, how you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, and I can't tell you how much I actually need this. I was thinking about this last week. I was like, I know I'm supposed to have something with Jim Bob. I'm wondering when it is, and lo and behold, you hit my DM.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I try to remind everybody at least the day before because there's so much going on. You know what I'm saying, man? It's understandable. Bandit, how you doing up there tonight?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
So, Bandit, I know this is something you've been kind of asking me to do for months now, and I kind of wanted to hold off until we got to Spooky Month, because what better time to talk about movies and stuff like that, especially horror movies, than this time of year? So,
yeah, with one episode, I mean, we have to pick like a specific category within like movies to just boil it down to even just one short episode. I mean, it's movies itself is a huge, we can make a huge series on film, period. I mean, and we're just going to stick with, I don't know how much of a fan everybody is of foreign film, but I know they'll probably get mentioned a little bit, but it's going to be like, I think the strong suit for horror flicks is mainly domestic. That's what everybody like thinks about is like the classic American horror flick from the 80s and 90s, really. I mean, what does everybody like think of when they think horror flicks from like the 80s and 90s? You think of the classics. You think of Jason, Freddy, Halloween, Mike Myers. You think of Pinhead with Hellraiser. I mean, you even think of Pumpkinhead. You're right. I mean,
original Candyman.
The original Candyman. Even like the Puppet Master movies, Phantasm. I'm telling you, I thoroughly enjoyed. Say what? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So we're gonna go like B movie classic too. So we could go The Blob, classic Kevin Dillon with The Blob.
Rejects.
Oh man,
some new offbeat horror films.
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses. Even Rob's. And see, that brings up a good point. You know, to like start off. If you've noticed lately, a lot of the classics have been remade and reimagined. They've taken the main horror characters, like what we just touched on with like Rob Zombie directing like House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Reject. He reimagined Mike Myers with his he directed Halloween and then Halloween 2.
John Carpenter?
Say again?
John Carpenter?
No.
The
Rob Zombie.
Oh, he redid
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
haven't seen those?
And so
the second one
that's
was filmed
perfect
in Covington, Georgia. I actually got to meet Rob Zombie because of it.
That's perfect because
dude, you gotta show me where I can see that the link or something.
You're gonna have to watch these if you are a horror movie like fanatic. He redid Mike Myers in such a way that like you're not prepared for what you're going to see in these movies. You really are not mentally prepared. They are probably the best remake of like the what are the horror classics.
The one that was filmed in Georgia.
Does the thumbnail show his face all messed up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I didn't watch it yet, but I'll
need
check
to.
it out.
So the second one was filmed in Covington, Georgia, and
you went in.
Well, no, I at the time I was the general manager of a Zaxby's, and their cast and crew constantly ate at Zaxby's because we were the closest thing to where they were filming at.
Man, Zaxby's coming clutch, man. I tell you.
Right.
It depends if you go there when they've got the A or the B team working.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Sure. And so when the filming was over, he wanted to thank us, and he said he was going to do like if we closed the store early, they were going to do like a cast and crew meeting and a party dinner at Zaxby's or whatever. And it was like a Thursday night, so of course I was like, well, yeah, I'm the boss.
Oh my
goodness, I'm gonna call okay for this, and like. We did it. I got to meet everybody that was doing that. Rob Zombie, listen. Everybody gives me crap about being short, but he's not really much taller than me. Like he's
what is he, like 5'6"?
Yeah, he's like me and him are almost the same height, and he's really cool guy. And his wife in real life is pretty smoking. Like Sherry Moon.
Sherry Moon?
Like yeah, like she's you know, and
I've heard they're really cool though.
No, they're kickback, man. He come in and he had his feet kicked up on the table and they was just chilling and talking, and like it was a good time. He was a real down to earth guy. Like it's few and far between that you meet those big top shelf, you know what I mean, like celebrity guys that are like that are just cool as hell and just
Jay Roach.
Yeah.
He's a film. I worked with him in LA. And he was like super cool. Like we were joking around with him and stuff like that. Yeah. Matter of fact, there was a scene because I played a civil rights activist in this movie, and there was a scene where we had to sing Negro spirituals for like 12 hours. You know, just because you know how it goes on set. You just and me and a few of my friends, we started singing Drake songs as Negro spirituals. And like Anthony Mackie was like looking at us like. He was just like, dude, it was such an experience, man, you know. And I think he even took a picture with us and everything, Jay Roach, and so it was really awesome.
So Dave, what would be your favorite horror movie from your perspective? I think
I am a fan of the found footage genre.
Boy, okay,
so any Paranormal Activity movie, I like all of them. all of them. And I know
How about the Chernobyl Diaries, the Dyatlov Pass incident, where I think that was called the Devil's Pass.
I should have said Paranormal Activity because I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to learn.
It's found. The found footage is like a niche category within horror movies.
Right.
You have movies like they've got a movie called Hell's Club,
because
it's about a haunted. It's about a haunted bar that they found footage. People went in and never came out. You have the Devil's Pass, which is about the Dyatlov Pass incident.
There's a whole list of them right here.
Yeah. And the Chernobyl Diaries. Yeah, the Chernobyl Diaries is a found footage niche horror movie about people that went exploring in Chernobyl and never came back, and they found the camera, they found the footage. It is amazing. So, make a mental note. You need to watch the Chernobyl Diaries and the Devil's Pass, which is about the Dyatlov Pass incident. They're both found footage horror movies, and they're amazing.
Devil's Pass. All right. I'll make sure that I got links up so we can find where you can watch them.
And it's about the actual Dyatlov Pass incident, but just they reimagined it like found footage horror movie.
Yeah.
So I like the whole cinema verite thing. It adds a lot of emotion with like the angles that aren't that well, the cinema verite, all of that, man. And so it really does something to me. And as far as like your standard narrative movie, man, I would say it's between the Conjuring and Annabelle.
Okay. Oh, so you're into like the supernatural horror movies,
like demons, like
and that gets your brain thinking.
Yeah.
While you're watching the movie, it's like a supernatural thriller almost.
Yeah, you're always
those.
I'm
still a fan of like your classic like slasher movies. Like I grew up watching like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and stuff, and
those are great too because they get you.
It defines an era.
Dude, I still get the same feeling when I watch those films.
Yeah, and there's so many Friday the 13th movies that there's just so many of them. But I have to say, like my favorite, my favorite Friday the 13th movie, only because I think Kane Hodder was the best Jason. It's going to be the Friday the 13th one, the Jason Goes to Hell. That is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, because he's like jacked in that one. Yeah, I remember.
Kane Hodder. I think he played Jason 3 or 4 times, I think. And he was the best at Jason, I think. And they not recently, when I say recently, within the last 10 to 15 years, I think they remade Friday the 13th. And like they got a new Jason, they got newer characters, they made it newer, and I watched it and it just didn't invoke the same fear, the same like excitement as like the old Friday the 13th movies from like the 80s and 90s did.
I think part of it is the music is canned. I think it's not actually scored.
It's that nostalgic fear, or that nostalgic feel of just one of those old school 80s and 90s when everything wasn't like CGI. You know what I mean?
I think practical effects should never leave Hollywood. Honestly,
it's just there's nothing better than like a what do they call the squibs, the under the shirt like blood bags exploding, and it's so fake looking.
Yeah,
I really think there's just like nothing like it.
No, I mean
the
absolutely.
cheesy effects like that. It just back when actors had to act, even if they didn't act that well, there was no green screen, there was no like computer editing. Everything was just like real. It was on-set makeup effects.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I mean, there was some green screen because that's an old technology, but like I would say the best movie that employed both was the first. I think it was the first movie to employ both, and that was Total Recall, that had
Yes.
practical and digital.
Yes.
You know, and that was a cutting-edge film. It's important, and like that whole Mars, all of that stuff, miniatures.
Yeah.
And that shot in Sylmar, California. I mean, dude, like, yeah. The you know what I really wanted to find out was how they did the 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And you remember?
And like, the mask? I think that was an actual mask. Huh? I really do think that was like an actual like prop.
I'm sure it was, yeah. And I'm just wondering, like, because I was looking for props from movies, you know, to see if I can even get my hand on some. Because some people, I saw a girl who got a Michelangelo foam suit, like from the movie, and I'm like, where the hell you get that? You know, so yeah, so that and I looked online, and there's actually a T-800 Terminator endoskeleton that's about $200 online that I'm going to.
Oh, full size?
Yeah, full size. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what I'm getting next.
I was like, dude, that is.
But that's if we get onto something like that, that'd be a whole new we could do a show on science fiction. You know what I mean?
I was going to ask you. I mean, do you think Alien and Predator falls under horror or?
No, I think that falls under science fiction.
That's a close one because I can see it falling on that line.
Now, the first Terminator was terrifying.
Because the first Alien was terrifying. Like,
yes, but Aliens is still the classic, though.
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott.
But we're getting off. We're gonna get way out. We're gonna get off subject very quickly. With if we bring up Aliens and Predators, very quickly.
So you said you like slasher films. Do you like any of the Scream movies?
I like because it's like it's a whodunit. You know what I mean? It keeps your brain, it keeps you active, it keeps you thinking and engrossed in the movie.
I like
who
writing
did it?
So I like the.
Not so much the TV show when they tried to do the TV show.
You like the TV show?
No, man. They should have. Yeah, the movies.
You know,
that was like that parallel Final Destination.
Like how long? I mean, how much could you keep the tension with a series?
Look at Final Destination
with Scream. Oh yeah, Final Destination.
They kept that tension going, man.
Yeah. The guy who wrote that is from Georgia.
Yep. I think all of the Final Destination movies were amazing, but that first one, man, that nailed that exploded because it was a totally new like concept of a horror movie.
Which one was the one where that glass sheet fell on top of that kid and like just flattened him?
Oh man,
was that one of the later ones?
Oh man,
I think it might have been the same movie where this girl was behind a logger truck.
Oh, that's like a no-no to like everybody in our age category. That is a no-no. You don't follow a logging truck for that reason.
Oh yeah.
But I think there was 7 of them, wasn't there? 7 or 8 of the Final Destination movies. Yeah.
That's a good movie to watch with people, man, because you're talking about like, my only thing with like slasher films, they always killing pretty white girls, and that shit pisses me off, man. I don't know, because I'm like
you're right though, but at the same time, it's like, but see, they got to do the stereotypical. I think they do got to do the stereotypical I think they got to do the stereotypical thing with like horror movies, with slasher films. You know what I mean? They do.
5?
Which one?
The newest one?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the newest one.
Well, they have your classic tropes in there where somebody will get stabbed like in the abdomen and
run up the stairs in the house, try to get away from the guy, right? Screaming, and they'll run upstairs to the second floor and lock themselves in the room, right?
They crawl. I'm like, dude, you got stabbed in the abdomen. How can you not walk? Like, get up and run.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And see, they'll always run upstairs. They'll run upstairs or they'll crawl upstairs, and they'll go, and they're just like, "Why'd you do that?
That's so stupid, man."
Yeah, why'd you do that? And the thing is, it's like, that was the same with the Friday the 13th movies. Anytime like Jason would kill like the boyfriend, the girlfriend would like bolt off into the woods in the dark, and you're just like,
Becca, yeah.
That was dumb. Yeah. That was really dumb,
Stay your ass with the group, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bringing up the classic slasher flicks like that, it's like, I think one of the dumbest ones they did though was Freddy versus Jason.
I like Freddy versus Jason.
That was a retarded thing to do, man. If you are gonna like face off Jason, if you're gonna face Jason with somebody, why wouldn't you make him go? Why wouldn't you pit him against like Mike Myers or Leatherface or something? Make it physical.
It was supposed to, originally, I remember this. It was supposed to evolve into that. Like more than just that once off of Freddy versus Jason.
But it failed so hard.
And I don't know why. It's so good.
Yeah, because
it was
Freddy is not
terrible.
as imposing as Jason.
No, Jason doesn't sleep.
Comical joke. That's why I like Freddy so much.
Well, I don't think any of them sleep.
Jason doesn't sleep, so it was totally impractical. Mike Myers doesn't sleep. It would have been good to face off Jason or Freddy with like Pinhead or something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, well, isn't Pinhead more psychological, or is he?
So is Freddy. Freddy's all psychological.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, why wouldn't they have done that?
And Candyman.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jason could have been like they could have made. Oh yeah, yeah. Talk about a character that gave an entire generation nightmares. Jason should have been faced off with like Leatherface or Mike Myers. You know what I mean? Make it like a
Mike Myers.
Yeah, make it like a physical like bar fight. You know what I mean? That would have been much more entertaining.
So did you like Alien versus Predator? I know this is off subject, but if you didn't like,
I liked Alien versus Predator.
I liked the idea of it. I didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I love some sci-fi, man. I am a sci-fi fanatic.
Oh, so
even Alien versus Predator Requiem was decent because I love sci-fi.
Who was that? Ridley Scott?
No, Ridley Scott didn't embarrass himself with Alien versus Predator. Ridley Scott, I think Ridley Scott.
I'm talking about Requiem.
Alien versus Predator Requiem. I don't think
you don't know who.
I don't think that was Ridley Scott.
Bandit likes like the slasher flick, like the classic '80s slasher flick, and you like this, like the suspense, like horror flick. And see, like I've always, when I get into horror, I like comedy horror,
like Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Evil Dead, man, or Army of Darkness.
Evil Dead versus Ash versus Evil Dead or something like that. That TV.
So that was a TV show.
Dude, I love that show.
I love that series. That was so good.
Yeah.
That was the
Do you know how long?
Watched it.
Do you know how long it took to film Evil Dead? It took years to put Evil Dead together.
He was so young.
Years.
I also love zombie flicks. I love zombie movies.
Yeah, Zombieland's one of my
Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
With I think Theo Rossi's in it. The wrestler guy.
Yeah. Dude, I loved the Army of the Dead when I was young.
Yeah, that shit. Man. there's nothing like a zombie flick that.
No, because it's so like, it's something like you kind of like, you want secretly like want to happen. You're watching it, you're watching it and you're like, I kind of want this to happen. It'd be so cool to have like a zombie apocalypse.
Did you watch did you watch the Netflix version
of Army of the Dead?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that foreign? Wasn't it foreign?
With Dave Bautista?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yes,
yeah,
I think I did
with
watch
Theo
that.
Rossi, Dave Bautista. Yeah, that's the one.
I did watch that.
All right.
Yeah. So, I was laughing because like that shit is in my head when I watched that. I'm like, what would I do? And I actually have some items I bought just in case. That's so funny. What is it? I was gonna say.
See, my brain. I'll be honest. Like, there was another Army of the Dead that my brain went to when you first mentioned Army of the Dead.
Which one was that? I probably don't know that one.
The one from 2008.
I definitely don't know that one.
Okay, yeah, this is totally campy. Like, if you like campy.
That almost looks like Army of Darkness. Are they redoing the skeletons for Army of Darkness?
I kind of like
Cabin Fever.
Yeah,
2.7 stars out of 10 on IMDb.
It's super campy. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like, but those are the kind of ones that I like. Like your cult. Like your
I
ones
love
that
those.
are doomed to be cult classics.
Don't get me wrong, man. I love a good cult classic, man.
I'm actually in a class B horror film. It's called Girls Gone Dead. I don't know if you guys ever seen it or heard of it. But
I'm gonna look it up now.
Ron Jeremy is in it. Beetlejuice is in it. Jerry Lawler is in it. Yeah, you might.
I actually have seen this. Have seen this.
I'm in that movie. I helped do a lot of. I'm in the background and shit.
Nice, that's awesome.
I think you just saw me. I think you just passed me, dude. In the
trailer, little trailer piece. It's just rolling around, little trailer thing that it had on here.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
That's one of the first movies not first movie. That's first movies I worked on when I came into, dude. Nice. And then got to see a bunch of titties. They had like this porn chick on set. Yeah, it was great, man. I got to meet Beetlejuice from Howard Stern.
Yeah, dude. No, Beetlejuice. He was living in Atlanta for a time too. There was a short.
Really, the way they fuck with Beetlejuice is so fucking funny, man.
Just always giving him a hard time.
And he takes it though.
Because he's getting paid.
So good about it.
He's taken care of. He's not got nothing to worry about, man. The guy is doing good, man. Lester is doing well, man. You know that, yeah. Because I think they found him coming off the streets, and then I think that's when this guy Bobby Rooney and his group of people they actually represent people like that, like, you know, small little people, because he's technically a little person.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I so zombie flicks. I love like Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah, man.
Land of the Dead. All of those of the Dead movies. Yeah.
Well, what about Shaun of the Dead? Like that.
Dude, that was really good. Shaun of the Dead.
I'm not gonna lie, man. That was good.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like you watch those and you're just like, that would be typical British. You know what I mean? Having to defend yourself with a cricket mallet and a golf club and stuff like that. You know, I'm just like, because you don't have any guns. Yeah. You guys are screwed during a zombie apocalypse, man. You're screwed. Every American is sitting there watching that going,
yeah,
man.
So I heard you mention Annabelle earlier. Do you like all the ones in the series of that, or just the?
I've seen Annabelle and The Conjuring. Conjuring 2 was just too pretentious. I didn't like it.
Gotcha.
But I love Mama. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a pretty freaky one, actually.
Mama.
That was...
Guillermo del Toro.
I think I've seen that one. I think I have.
Dude, Mama, man. And okay, you were mentioning foreign films. My whole thing now is that I'm legally blind, So there's a lot of things I can't see, and I can't read subtitles. So there's a lot of foreign films that I want to watch that I can't. Like I wanted to watch Parasite, and I can't because there's nothing in English on that. And so it's been, I don't know, it's been an issue. But there's a series that I do watch that's dubbed in English, and it's All of Us Are Dead.
Okay, all right. Is
Y'all
this
know
like a
about
horror
that?
series?
Yes, I think I do.
Yeah. It's it's a Korean. It's Korean.
That is a Netflix or a Hulu.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, and man.
Okay.
All of it. I can't. I'm waiting for the second season to come up, and stuff. But yeah, I definitely appreciate bloody movies.
Right. All right. There's something good to be said about having bloody movies, and I think that's a great like. This is where a movie that I really like comes into play because it's super extra on the bloody, and even you mentioned before we actually started recording how it's kind of it is actually kind of scary, and that's this Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
such a happy medium and such an underrated movie, man. Like if you like scary and funny, I think this has both in it, and it has Alan Tudyk in it. Like I'm a big fanboy for him. Like I think he's a fantastic actor, like in everything that he does. Like he's wild as hell.
No, I think it's great, because they refuse to listen to these people that feel like, no, we're trying to help. Oh my God. Yeah, that junk, man. I need to finish watching it, dude. That's a great movie. I'm gonna do a video on that too.
Nice. Yeah. I found it by I found it by accident one time. Like it was just one of those bin movies that I was just like, I'm looking for something new to watch. And when I sat down and watched it, I was like, this is the best shit I think I've seen. It's been years or whatever, but I was like, this is the best shit ever. Like, and
yeah,
that's kind of my genre. It's hard to come across things, I guess, that are the right amount of funny and the right amount of like scary even. And that's like recently another one that I was kind of into is called Willy's Wonderland. I made mention to this to you guys too.
You did mention that. Let me write that
You both
down.
said you skipped over it, but like it's okay. So Nicolas Cage is just a random guy, and he literally doesn't speak the entire flick. Like he doesn't have one line, and he ends up at like an old-fashioned Chuck E. Cheese, or what did you call it, Bandit? Like you
Showtime Kids or something like that.
Showbiz Pizza,
Showbiz
man.
Pizza.
The
like a place like that.
Chuck E. Cheese.
But it's called Willy's Wonderland, and then like all these creatures, robots or whatever, come to life, and like
that's totally what would happen at a Showbiz.
And he like whoops their ass without even saying a word. Like he saves the day and beats all them. Like it's a great, like there's a lot of cool things and stuff that goes on or whatever. But and I'm not trying to spoil the movie at all. Like I'm not gonna watch nothing. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna go whoa, because like I come across it by accident too. Like I don't know. I don't watch movies like I used to. I guess newer releases and stuff. Like it's all Marvel. There's so much Marvel and just
dude. That's what I was
saying. Nicolas Cage, like he doesn't do horror movies. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, okay, I remember like in the 90s you could go in and watch a movie in theaters like Falling Down. That wasn't like all, or you know what I'm saying? Like that was a regular budgeted film.
Yep.
And it would do okay. And I'm just like, dude, where is that?
Where is that?
And anytime I want to watch it, it's either like straight to streaming, you know what I'm saying? And I will say the one person that is representing that, I would say to a certain extent, is Tom Cruise, because he's still doing like action films that are like still hitting, and
true.
And he doesn't do too much, of the effects, but it's just enough, and so that's a dude who I
think he's always wanted to remain a big silver screen actor. That's one thing he always stated was like, I will always make movies for the silver screen. I will never make like streaming movies.
I feel that a lot of don't get me wrong, a lot of the technology is awesome for some things. Like you can make things that were impossible possible with the help of special effects, but I think that there's been a lot lost to
special effects.
special effects. Honestly,
A lot of jobs lost.
That too. Like, I mean, but that, like, I like to think about like the era of Jim Henson. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the amazing. He's been an inspiration to me. Like when like my costumes and stuff. Like Jim Henson was an inspiration to me growing up, and that's why I hand make all of these wild costumes you guys have been seeing me in this month. Like the one that I've got going on tonight, even, and like it's just there's something to making it by hand out of junk.
I mean,
is amazing.
Yeah. Because I know he didn't like that his suits were being used in the Ninja Turtles because he thought it was too violent or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But like, because the third one, I think he died by the first one, but the third one they had to use a different company.
Yeah.
But
I think it's way different.
Yeah, the suits they got like sunspots on them or some shit like that. But the point I was trying to make is that like. And I'm not gonna say, it ruined my childhood. I think it's ruining kids' childhood today. The new when they try to remake the Ninja Turtles movie, it's like
terrible.
It's like okay, there's no personality here.
See,
and
you
also
got it. Yeah,
it's just like horrible. They look so scary and grotesque. I'm like, these things are, like the first ones were like. Oh, these are like cute little turtles and blah, blah, blah.
The turtles we've seen as cartoons
They're
brought
like
to life.
8 feet tall, and they look like the Goombas from the first Mario Brothers.
Are you talking about the one with John Leguizamo and oh my God, and Dennis Hopper as King Koopa?
That's movie
I have that movie, by the way, man, and I think I just saw it in my collection. I just passed over. I have all 3 of the original Ninja Turtles, so I know what I'm tomorrow.
I love the original Ninja Turtles.
You nailed it because I think with those movies from the 80s and 90s, those horror movies from the 80s and 90s, as to, compared to what we've got now, they took the character and substance out of those movies when they computerized everything and just like, you can throw somebody in front of a green screen and doctor them up with a computer, and it takes the character out of the actual characters. You know what I mean? Rather than like when you watched a horror movie from the 80s and 90s, you knew that was a real dude standing there in a costume, swinging a prop machete or an axe or whatever. You didn't
I think
have
they're trying to make money off of the stardom. So it's like when they when they bring the character back, it's almost like when you have like somebody come on a sitcom who everybody's like, oh, that's what they're doing it for the old fans. And there's nothing in that new character that makes anybody want to watch the movie or make the movie.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean, we don't have the Tim Currys anymore. To be honest, like think about that. Like
we don't
look
have.
Look at his role in it. Like we keep bringing it up, and I think that's a fantastic horror movie. Like it's actually a TV series.
Stop. Like I don't want to reminisce about like Tim Curry will never play it again.
So the only my only gripe with the first one is the fucking spider, dude. It's like it scared the shit out of me the whole movie.
It truly did, man.
And the fucking spider, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding.
But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. There didn't need to be a lot of blood and guts in the movie.
There really wasn't any. Yeah, that's right.
Terrified you just because of the strict the fear he put
that was
in.
Almost like Hitchcock type.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Even though I think Stephen King is a total piece of shit.
Why do you say that?
We could go into it,
but like
we might as well, dude. I mean, this is the whole, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
His books are. He wrote a lot of really controversial stuff into his books that really shouldn't have been there, even though he was probably like alcoholic and a lot of cocaine and a lot of drugs, probably, and. There was a lot of stuff written into his books, especially that of It, that shouldn't have been there.
The CP?
Yeah. And it's in some of his other books. It's in some of his other books too.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. I thought that was a rumor. I didn't know that was because I never read the book.
You read the book, there's a few things that are.
I will say there's some because I saw what's that one? Brian De Palma directed it. Carrie.
The original Carrie?
The original?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, Brian De Palma. Yeah.
That was with Sissy Spacek, right?
Sissy Spacek, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? And so I watched it. I'm like, I thought it was a little weird. The like where they had to be for, I don't know. It was just a little strange. Like, it was this girl who was, playing underage, and you just see a bunch of young girls who are playing underage in this movie that are in like compromising situations. I just thought that was really weird,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you at all. Like that's that.
But I will say there are some Stephen King films that I like: The Shining, Misery,
Cujo. I mean, you've got Cujo. You've got The Stand. Yeah, I mean, he's done. It's been some good stuff, but just think him as a person.
But artists are generally pretty fucked up people. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
But getting back to what we were talking about, it's like you are right. There's just no actors that could bring that level of character to the big screen anymore. So. Like they can't. There's no big actors that could bring that to the screen anymore.
They do
that could fill those characters of like a real like
a lot of people that they put on the
star.
podium. A lot of people that they put on the podium, I don't think are as good of actors as they. You know what I'm saying? Like they put the wrong people on the podium.
Like
nowadays, yes.
Give me an example. I agree with you, but give me an example.
Like
The Rock.
Dude, why the fuck was that in my head? And I don't even believe that. I don't believe it, but it was in my head. Like I don't agree with you, but it was in my head.
Because he portrays one character.
He does.
And it was great, and it was great when he did it in that one where he's in Brazil or whatever with Christopher Walken.
Oh, The Rundown.
One of my favorite movies. I love it.
It was a good movie. Because Christopher Walken made that movie good.
I don't know if it's his fault though. Because have you seen Be Cool?
Yes.
Yes.
He played the gay bodyguard with the afro.
That was great.
Yeah. He was good. But so he's
too much of a brand now. I get what you're saying.
He is a total brand.
Brand. Every time I see him on fucking Instagram, I got a new tequila out. This is my new shoe. And I'm like, dude.
He has totally taken that way out of proportion.
And
he ran away with it.
Somebody that doesn't, like, for example, somebody that I guess gets given a lot of grief and is not only a great actor, but has turned out to be a great writer and director and stuff, which we were talking about earlier too, is Jordan Peele.
He gets a lot of grief?
People give him a hard. I've seen
for not putting white people in his movie?
I've seen some articles about some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Man.
And I don't care about all that nonsense. To me, none of that's important because the man does do some great work. Like I love. Listen, Key and Peele was one of my favorite shows. Like I think,
dude, I've been watching those guys since Mad TV. But like, like what I'm saying is that like, I was like, why are you giving him shit but not saying anything to Martin Scorsese, Tim Burton, Woody Allen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like you don't see like in the movie that I just saw. Nope, there's strong white characters in that movie, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right? Yeah.
Like let him make his movies.
There's people causing drama, and I like his like that first one he did. That was. Yeah,
I was like, there's white people in that movie. There's a bunch of white people.
Well, and not just that. That whole cloning thing. That was just a wild trip.
Bro, that shit.
I think that has become a recent thing because if you notice, like, I think that the reason they don't make movies like they did in the 80s and 90s anymore, or even the early 2000s, is because there's just so many hoops to jump through because everybody wants to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to have their say in the movie. Everybody wants to put their 2 cents into the movie and not let the screenwriters and the directors and the producers just make a really good movie. Everybody's like, hey, we want to be included.
Too much corporate interest. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that has taken the movie industry and thrown it off a cliff as of recently.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate, man. Because like, I mean it, because back in the day, people could be more bold.
Right.
The director could be like, "Hey, man, fuck you! I'm putting this up anyway," or what is it? Steven Spielberg created a new rating for Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom was the first movie rated PG-13 because they wanted to make it rated R, and he was like, "No, we're going to make it PG-13, so kids under 13 can't see." And I'm just like, you see the freedom that these people had. And then I was thinking the same thing. I was watching New Jack City.
Oh, good movie, man.
Still relevant today, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, a movie like that today would go straight to fucking like Netflix or some, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't see it on the silver screen.
Wasn't that with Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Chris Rock, and Mario.
Yes. That was the one where Ice-T was the undercover cop, right?
Yes.
Was that the one where the scene where I remember the quote from it was like, "Sit your $5 ass down before I make change"?
Yeah,
Man.
Alan Payne, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
See,
Sit your
it's
$5 ass down before
I make change.
And what I loved about that movie, like, there's so many, like, when you look at it, it didn't age well because there's some corny ass lines in there. But
that's what made it so amazing, though, man.
Exactly, because back then you were like, "Yo, that junk is dope or hype or whatever they were saying."
Yeah.
That junk is fresh. Yeah, dude. And so and I was also watching New Jersey Drives, South Central. Like I was watching all like the hood movies that had good stories.
Straight out of Compton?
Well, that's newer. I'm talking about like from like the 90s, like
Menace to Society,
Yeah.
Juice, Boys in the Hood.
Fresh. I even saw one that I actually with do you know Tyrone Burton?
I think so.
He was
You
on his
have
TV
to
show.
include. I know it. I know you don't. I know it's not like. I know it's kind of like a touchy subject to put in there, but you got to include higher learning with that too, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a great film.
Yeah, that was.
Do you know? I just recently, just like a week ago, I saw that on Hulu. They have that on Hulu, and I was like, "Whoa, that movie's on Hulu, man!" Now,
yeah, it's not really a hood movie, but yeah, I get it. It is in that same atmosphere.
But we got off subject, but I don't care. You know, it does. It kind of ties into that because you can't get in. You can't have like writers don't have the. They aren't allowed to be as creative as they were back then because they have so many like barriers and red tape they have to cut through. Like if Jason was to be now, if they were to make a new Friday the 13th movie, he'd have to be a trans man. You know. No, I'm not saying that as a negative thing to the LGBT
exactly
community.
Like,
it's just
like I was like, dude, why?
Yeah.
I was like, why? It doesn't lend to anything. It's not helping the story.
Right.
No.
You know like, and so I'm just like, I'm just like, dude, this is, and so to me that just comes across as propaganda, you know, because I was like, this is propaganda. I was like, black people have, you know, like when you think of what I found, I'm not gonna go there.
No, go. No. We're okay.
What I find offensive is that they try to basically say that our struggle is the same as their struggle. And I'm like, listen, man, I was like, you can go out into the street and nobody will know anything about your sexual preference. I go out in the street, everybody knows I'm black. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to tell people, everybody sees that I'm black. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the same thing at all. And that's the part that I find offensive. It's like, no, like nobody was hosing you down, you know, in the 60s because you like the same sex or something like that. You know, it's just like, dude, like it's just offensive. And there's a movie that I love I think it's called Moonlight or Moon Cricket or something like that. It's about this black kid who struggles with his sexuality in South Florida, and it's a gay movie, and it's a great story. And I was like, this works. You know what I'm saying? But diversity, I don't think it's diversity.
I mean, they should be just. What this boils down to is, why can't we just let like Hollywood be creative again? You know, it doesn't have to be all inclusive.
To put it in there if they want. If somebody wants to have, like, I've seen movies where somebody is like gay, and I'm like, okay, that's what they wanted, and it doesn't bother me. But to force somebody to put that in their film, that's what I disagree.
It doesn't have to be all inclusive. That's what it comes down to. Is like, you don't have to be all inclusive. Just let them make their movies.
Like I was like, you didn't see any black people engaged in New York. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, right though. You're right though.
And instead of trying to redo new movie or old movies and try to redo the story and change people's sexual preferences and or gender and stuff like that in a remake, why not? Here's a great idea. Why not? I don't know, write something new. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's right. There's only so many ideas out there, but put a spin on it and just make it your own character, your own way. Like, you don't have to keep redoing people, I don't think.
I don't know if these are coming out in silver screen or just coming out straight to streaming. Whiplash was a great movie, by the way.
Okay. Yeah,
Whiplash. Yeah. And I actually started becoming a fan of this dude, Miles Teller.
Yeah.
He's in I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think I've really been I liked him on Spiderhead. I don't know if you guys seen that movie, Spiderhead.
Yes.
It has
it's on
Yeah.
And
then I also watched Lou with the lady that just passed away, Anne Heche. This movie Lou. Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
Oh, you guys need to watch Lou. Anne Heche. It's LOU. It's on Netflix.
LOU.
It is a great movie. And I'm also a fan of Journey Smollett. I don't know if you guys remember her or know her. You remember she was Michelle's best friend on Full House.
Yeah.
She is so good. I and I was very sad to learn that she's married. So.
You're trying to say you wouldn't mind if Kimmy Gibbler come visited you?
If what?
If Kimmy Gibbler come to visit you.
Kimmy Gibbler? Yeah, Kimmy Gibbler.
That's what you're talking about, right? Her friend.
No, man, no. This was the Michelle's friend. Michelle, the little one. She was the black girl with the curly hair.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And
I'm terrible with names. I do better when I see a face, my friend.
Yeah, Kimmy Gibbler was DJ's friend. She was hot too, but I was a Stephanie Tanner guy. Jodie Sweetin is
ain't she out there doing like protest stuff? Like, I think I've seen her.
Yeah,
like,
she
got beat up by LAPD, man.
Yeah, she got
really beat up. That was unfortunate because I think I saw the video come up on Twitter and I was like, what? I mean, I hadn't seen her in anything. I think she does Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
And she has a podcast she runs with her friend.
Yeah. Nice. And then I saw her, she was on the front line for, I think, the Roe versus Wade protest, and she got body slammed by an LAPD cop.
And what's funny is that her first husband was a cop.
Interesting.
That's the second body slam.
You said it, not me, man. I was going to, but I didn't know, so she's probably used to it.
Because she used to be. She had crystal meth problems, man. When she.
She
had issues.
Wait a minute. No, that wasn't.
That was
Jodie Sweetin. Okay, yeah. She was in. Yeah, she had a huge problem with meth, I think. It was meth.
She straightened up, and she I see her. I was like, she's still cute to me, like, and she's 40. She's 40. That's just crazy. What? She's 40 years old.
How am I older? How am I older than her?
What is it? Macaulay Culkin is 42. Chuck Norris.
He's my age.
Chuck Norris is 82.
Yeah, Chuck Norris is old as dirt. Still out there kicking
And he
ass.
still looks good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like
And what? Jean-Claude Van Damme is 60 now, isn't he?
60. And then you got Schwarzenegger and Stallone. They're in their 70s,
Yeah.
70s. And
But
I'm just like, dude.
Van Damme can still do a
Quit.
roundhouse kick, like a
Still do
spinning
a
roundhouse
split.
kick. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen, he's a man with a lifestyle that happened to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't.
Yeah, he was a dancer before all of this stuff.
And
He
into all
was
that
a
martial arts
he was
and stuff like
kickboxer.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a
Only
real
person who-
kickboxer before he became an actor. So kind of.
Jackie Chan is still in good shape.
And his nephew RVD.
RVD. Oh, he sucks.
No, I'm saying no. That's his nephew, Jean-Claude. They are literally related. You can see it in their face, and they both actually look about the same.
Who is this?
Rob Van Dam and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know Rob Van Dam.
He's a wrestler.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think
okay.
I've seen him.
They
Yeah, I
look
think I know
very
you're
similar.
Okay, yeah, I think I know. You know who didn't age well, but he wasn't ever really in shape was Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's always been like
ow.
so.
We can make another episode. Can we have you back as a
Please.
reoccurring thing and do
Yes, absolutely.
movie themes?
I can
Like
talk
we can
about
bring you
movies
back on.
all
We can
fucking
do
day.
we can do 80s action since we're on
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, Stallone, and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
We could come back and do like 80s action, 80s and 90s
Yeah.
action, and then we could do
Yeah,
I think that
talk
could
about movies
definitely
all day,
work.
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're in the right place.
Yeah.
You're in the right place.
And I think that's my thing now is that I'm struggling with putting out content because it's just me spewing out information, and I think I work better with interacting where like what I would like to have ideally is like a weekly show with like a group of people and we're talking about movies and then and post just put clips up of the movies and stuff like that. And so that's what I'd like to do. But now I'm doing it on my own. So, if it'll come, it'll come. Maybe, yeah. Get a gym bar.
You're always
over here.
welcome to come and hang out and talk about it over here.
Yeah.
We're all over the place. Like we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like we hit on some good hard subjects, but we also like to have some fun with other things because you can't be a one-hit wonder. I don't think. Like I don't want to talk about the same thing every single episode, like some kind of broken record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. I wanted to say one thing about this Seagal thing. So how he started is that he used to train this Hollywood agent, this guy who felt he could make anybody a star, and he used to train him to like fight, teaching him Aikido or whatever. And so the guy was like, I can make you a star, and he was like, really? And then he's like, I have some stories of my life when I worked with the CIA. This motherfucker never worked with the CIA, bro.
No,
So he's writing these bullshit ass stories that come to these movies and he becomes a super megastar and he ends up fucking all of that up for being a complete piece of shit. But
he is too.
At the end of the day, it's just really funny how he just like fabricated like the
everything. Everything.
Dude, like why do you lie so much, man? Like you were never in the CIA.
Well, see, the thing is, it's like actors do in fact live a lie when they're on screen, so it has to be like a part of their personality. But for him to like talk about
lie
that
before he became an actor.
yeah man. And have you seen he actually had a show where he is a reserve Louisiana police officer. He's a reserve cop in Louisiana, and
he's like an expert on everything.
The only thing that I think about like watching that show is like if I would happen to be down in Louisiana, get pulled over, and fucking Steven Seagal walks up to my window and is like, "Can I see your license and registration, please?" I'm like, "Am I on the set of a B movie? Am I on the set of a movie?"
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, we gotta have you back on, man, because this is like, yeah,
I'm down. Yeah, no, that man, that fucking Seagal.
We totally got off subject of horror movies, but I don't care.
I think it's good.
I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you know the Bloodsport story.
Yeah.
With Frank Dukes, because that Bloodsport is based off of a real story. And
supposedly with
and the guy who wrote the guy
movie,
whose
right?
story it is, there's no verification for any of that ever taking place. You know, for
his Bloodsport was that Van Damme movie where the illegal fighting and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, would there ever really be records of that ever taking place when it was supposed to be like off the record in the first place?
If not off the record, at least word of mouth, because people talk.
I think you'd be sworn to secrecy with something like that, man. Like, especially.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah, they'd bury you.
But it is the first rule of Fight Club.
It's not talk about Fight Club, but I think that was one of the most iconic because Bolo Young.
Yeah.
He is one of the most iconic. When you think of like martial arts action flicks, I think he is one of the most iconic characters to grace the screen with that. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is still friends with him.
I think he fought Bruce Lee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So did Chuck Norris.
Well, yeah. That's how Chuck Norris got his start.
I think and Jean-Claude Van Damme is still friends with Bolo Young.
Yeah, I saw a picture of them recently. And
it's one of those things. It's like, and he spoke probably 5 words his entire acting career.
But that face,
he didn't, and that's what we talked about. Like, you don't find actors like that anymore that make such an impact on screen that they don't have to speak.
Well, and also directors don't do that either. You know what I'm noticing that I have an issue with is like, okay, the quick cuts, especially with fight scenes, you don't really see fight scenes anymore.
No.
You see a lot of kicking and punching dancing. And a lot of moving away, but you don't see people actually getting, like when you look at thinking of Meals on Wheels with Jackie Chan, and he has Benny the Jet in that movie. Right? And there's been movies where these guys are fighting and they actually are like, you know, we're going too fast.
Oh,
so
dude.
Blows. Yeah, Bolo Young.
He didn't have to speak.
No, he doesn't have to speak. No, absolutely.
But one of the most, speaking of fight scenes, one of the most iconic.
Kickboxer too.
Yeah.
He didn't have to speak either. Okay, go ahead.
One of the most iconic fight scenes ever filmed was in the movie They Live, between Rowdy Piper and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The wrestler. No, he's not a wrestler.
Rowdy Piper was the wrestler, and then I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's been in a lot of other movies.
I just saw that too.
It's like a 6-minute fighting scene.
Yeah,
black dude, right?
Yeah. One of the most iconic fight scenes in
Holy shit.
I'm not going to pull up sound. I'm just going to pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah, I want to see who was he fighting, because I love Rowdy Piper, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a dude who had a rough life.
Right? Yeah, that dude went through it, man.
May he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, again.
That fella.
I think he was killed, honestly. But.
Oh, dude, we could get into stuff like that.
Jimmy, did we not discuss this the other day?
Yes, we did. That fella.
Oh, yep. Who? Keith David.
Yes, Keith David. Yeah,
Keith David. Yeah, man, you talking about slept on talent?
Absolutely, dude.
Oh my
variety.
God.
It's variety.
He's got range.
He does, and he's been in.
I remember him from Platoon.
Yeah, Platoon. He was also in. I don't know if you've seen Sugar Hill. That was another Wesley Snipes. Michael.
No, I haven't seen Sugar Hill, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, and Chronicles of Riddick or Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
Yeah. He's got like a class about him.
Well, he's one of those he's one of those actors that you see him but you can't remember his name. Yeah. There's like a whole group of those actors where you see them in so many movies.
Character actors. That's the way I used to do, like Willem Dafoe and.
Well, you know who Willem Dafoe is.
You know Willem Dafoe, but like.
There's a whole group of these actors that there is a category of them where you've seen them in dozens of movies.
What about William H. Macy? He's become more of a star.
Oh, he
used to be kind of like, you see him.
He flew under the radar.
Yeah, he flew under the radar for a long time.
Yeah, until I think until ER.
Okay, I got one. Wood Harris.
Okay.
See that? Yeah, you're like, who is that? Remember the Titans. He was, I think he might have been the quarterback on that movie. And he was also in Paid in Full. Have you seen Paid in Full?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Wood Harris, black dude. He's
All right.
he's the guy that you just like, I've seen him in something. What's his name? And he's like, as far as fame, it's like Mekhi Phifer and Wood Harris is like right there. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's another dude who you see just like, that's that one dude from the
He's just in everything, like like actually.
Yeah.
And
Always
you
working.
just don't.
You could just throw things up. I was actually going to bring
like
up
David Morse.
You recognize
Yep.
them, and you're just like, where do I recognize you from? You know, I've seen you in so many movies, and then you're just like, oh, that's his name. Yeah.
You want to know something crazy? Okay. You remember what's that one TV show with Bryan Cranston? The drug one.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Schrader. You remember Schrader?
Yeah.
He is in Terminator 2 as the first SWAT guy that runs up to Miles Bennett Dyson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
I remember the voice. Yeah, I remember the voice. It's the voice, though, that I think gets him away. Yeah.
That's him. That junk, man.
But you do see a lot of that, believe it or not. You'll see big actors got their start with small parts early on in their career. And sometimes
they used to
big
do
actors,
it on daytime TV.
will still they'll still take small parts in big movies. You'd be like, holy crap, like you that big name actor just walked through the background. You're just like, holy crap, he was just only in that movie for like 5 seconds.
I saw Brad Pitt as an extra on No Man's Land with D.B. Sweeney and Charlie Sheen.
Right. And then, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, too, like, there's a lot of times if you go back to, especially like the 70s and 80s, there were people that came up through the daytime TV on like the soap operas and stuff. They got their start there.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, absolutely. They got their start over there, and the next thing you know, they're making big top budget movies and stuff, all from doing some cheesy ass action during the day.
TV to movies, but then you have actors going from movie to TV, like what's the dude's name? Omar Epps.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of that, it's like Nicolas Cage. Actually, his first big part was at Fast Times of Ridgemont High. Wow. He was the short order cook. He is Francis Ford Coppola's son. His real name is Nicholas.
I thought it was his nephew.
No, I think I'm pretty sure it's his son.
So he's related to
Nicholas Coppola. He was in the credits as Nicholas Coppola at Ridgemont High before he became Nicolas Cage.
I'm pretty sure that's his nephew because he's cousins with Sofia Coppola, who is Francis's daughter. I may be wrong, but I think that's his nephew.
Okay, so maybe nephew then, not son.
He's born into the Coppola family. It doesn't say that it just says
his son.
It says. So,
and Coppola, man, yeah. But there was something, Coppola, yeah. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So I am friends with. His name is Bob in real life. Michael, the guy who ends up sleeping with the girl that. Him, yeah, he used to run a coffee shop in North Hollywood, and I used to go out there and do open mics over there, and then I went to use the bathroom and saw the poster, and I see him on the poster, like of a reunion. You see like everybody that was in the movie there, and I'm like, holy shit! I was like, you were in that movie, and I was like, I never saw it, and then I went ahead and watched it. I'm like, holy shit, that's this guy, and so I thought it was really cool that I saw him because you ever wonder what happened to like a lot of those people that were kind of like doing like roles in movies back in the early 80s and stuff, and then you don't see them more, but they were like super young back then.
Yes. Oh yes.
We could do a whole series on where are they now? Did they do that on like VH1 or something?
All
Do you remember that though? Where are they now on VH? Yeah.
This makes me think of like, okay, just off subject, but it makes me think of this. Like Chevy Chase used to, throughout all of his movies. Okay, he always had some different young chick as his side
Yeah,
piece. What happens to those women? Like it's never the same chick, but he's
yeah.
always, you know what I mean? And you don't
I
you don't
mean,
really
mainly
ever
because
see
he's
him
a piece
again.
of shit.
Sure,
You
sure,
are
I
right
believe
on that,
everything bad
Dave.
about him, huh?
Chevy
sure,
Chase
sure.
is
Yeah,
a
he's a piece of shit.
huge
No,
douchebag to work with. From
Yeah,
everybody that has ever worked with him, has written like the worst like things about
yeah.
him.
of
I,
course.
I mean,
I was just using that example.
yeah.
Okay.
The fact that him and Richard Pryor didn't get along made me not like him because Richard Pryor, king,
Right. Right.
and Richard Pryor, amazing, So yeah,
Hell yeah, he was.
Chevy Chase, total asshole, and I think he was jealous of Bill Murray,
100%.
100% jealous of Bill Murray, and
He had
He'll
every
never
right
be
to
Bill
be.
Murray.
I mean, Bill Murray
He
is
will never be
king,
Bill
man.
Murray. Yes, he will never be Bill Murray, no matter how hard he tries.
But he is part of my childhood, though.
He
You
did
know what
have
I'm
some
saying?
great flicks, man.
Like the Family Vacation. That's always going to be,
Fletch is gonna always be my favorite Chevy Chase series. I don't know what it was about it.
the
I just
National
dug him.
Lampoon's Family
Yeah.
Vacation.
I
Yeah,
think
totally.
the Christmas Vacation is the one that lives on, that will
Very
always
much
live
so.
on as a, like, it's got to be a yearly watch, I think.
Okay, we're getting close to this. Best favorite Christmas movie, like iconic. You're just like, this is Christmas.
I really like
That's
Elf.
Man,
I really like
Elf?
Elf.
it.
It's
you
not my
know,
favorite, but I really like
I
it.
will get a
Yeah,
lot of
okay.
shit for this.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll get a lot of shit for this. What I'm about to say is my favorite Christmas movie. Okay, but it's got to be
Lethal
the
Weapon.
Bill Murray. Die Hard and Lethal Weapon are
The
Christmas movies. Okay,
Bill Murray.
they are.
Bill
Murray Scrooged.
Yes.
Why are you getting shit for that? That's a great.
Oh,
That's a fantastic flick.
like everybody's just like, oh, that's not Scrooged, and I'm like, yeah, it is, man.
No, that's
It's
you're
a
talking
it's a
about
new
the
Scrooge. I'm like, it's a Scrooged movie, man. It's probably one of the best representations of Scrooged. But Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, I cast them into their own Christmas category. They're like mandatory watches, regardless of what your favorite Christmas movie is. You still have to watch Lethal Weapon and Die
The
Hard.
Friday that takes place during Christmas is one I watch every Christmas.
The what?
The Friday that takes place during Christmas is one that I watch every Christmas.
I think I might have seen that once.
I haven't seen that.
Like I love all three of the Friday movies. Like they're
Yo,
some of
yeah,
my
I
favorite
think
movies of all
I mean,
time.
the first one is the first one is a silver screen movie,
Yes,
Yeah.
and then the rest of them are like the straight to DVD
sure.
style movies. That's what I will
But
say.
that very last one was the Christmas one. It was where it kind of happened during Christmas time and stuff or whatever. And like it, I don't know. I dig it. I love it because it's definitely a Christmas movie, and it's just always it's been one I watch every Christmas, every year for a long time.
So that in Friday, in the first scene, what he's wearing, the shirt and pants, is the same clothes he's wearing on the last scene of Boys in the Hood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Home
Alone for me.
You just blew Bandit's
What?
mind. Home Alone?
Home Alone.
That's a great Christmas movie.
No. The Friday and Boys in the Hood connection.
Oh, you didn't hear what I said?
No, I did. I'm like, how did I?
We'll have to do a whole Christmas movies episode.
But you have to understand, like I research this stuff, man. So it's not like
When you're in, I guess if you're in film school,
I look this stuff up all the time. Like I'm like a facts guy. I just love like interesting tidbits and stuff.
Man,
like
I got a guy that lives here local with me and you in the kind of the same area. He's up in North Atlanta near Tucker. And
dude, we all got to get together, man.
And he's dude, you and him and movies would probably like sit there and just go because
we need to do like a mystery
movies.
We need to do a mystery science theater type deal.
Oh my God, that'd be fun.
Right? I mean, we need to do a mystery science theater type deal.
Yes,
absolutely. We'll have to do some talking about something.
Those were movie critics that I actually listened.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
To.
So I have a list of extremely bad movies we can watch.
I'm down, man.
Have
I'm
you heard
down.
of Birdemic?
Have I what?
Birdemic.
I don't think
I
so.
think I have actually.
What makes this movie so great is that it's so bad and it takes itself seriously. It's Birdemic, and then Who Killed Captain Alex? And Who Killed Captain Alex? I think this movie is so bad. I think you actually see the green screen. Like you can see the screen here, green. That's how bad that movie is.
Who Killed Captain Alex? I found it too.
Who Killed Captain Alex? I think both of those are on Tubi, so we both need to whenever we need to do a mystery science theater thing, 100%, dude.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We'll have to do some talking about that. Yeah, that sounds like some.
I think those movies are worse than The Room, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely in the works for a plan. Okay.
Yeah, let's do
I think that would be. We could set up the podcast and just review the terrible movies on a podcast.
Right.
So I'm not trying to make it official, but I think if we get together and do the thing about the movies, we should refer to ourselves as the Strike Boys. What do you guys think about that?
Oh man, we definitely gonna have to talk about this. I love this. This is great.
The Strike Boys.
So, well, we did get off on some crazy tangents.
Oh, I don't care, man. It was well worth it.
Dave, I truly appreciate you coming around tonight. And
man, I'm honored for you guys to have me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, and of course, you guys know that are out there listening and watching. I'll have links to get back to Dave over there on YouTube and Instagram. Man, he's interesting to keep up with. Man, I followed him for a while now. We've been talking back and forth for a couple of years now, actually. So he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
right. He's a pretty cool guy, and I hope you guys go give him some love over there on his channels and stuff like that. And Bandit, you got anything for me tonight before we close out?
I am absolutely 100% good, man.
So, and we're serious. We're gonna have to do some talking about maybe doing some kind of a movie review thing, man. We're always we're always up to doing new things, and you said you were kind of looking for an idea, and hey, I'm down in on an idea like that. So we'll discuss it for some more. But of course, before I sign out, I've always got something kind of ridiculous to tell you guys. So, yeah. Oh, excuse me. What did Blackbeard say on his 80th birthday?
What?
I am 80. You guys have a fantastic evening.